All right. We are live, and the last kick is good.
It was not pretty, I will say that.
It's been a lot of that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Man.
True statement.
Man, where do we want to start with this? It's been quite the ride if you're a Bama fan.
I don't
these
know,
guys
it's quite the ride the other way too. They've had several turnover things that went their way for them.
Well, yeah, but I mean the first drive, Mizzou came out, and I was like, "Holy crap!" They came to play some football. I mean, they just looked crisp. Everything they did worked. They ran the ball straight down our throat, and then the one pass they threw, it's touchdown to your tight end. So that's not a good way to start as a Bama defense.
No, I think their first
Not
drive
wrong.
was 6 plays, I believe is what it was, for 70-something yards. So yeah, you're right. They came out there good, but at least the defense looks like they've been able to kind of respond to some of that. So they got the lead at halftime, and Alabama will get the ball when they come back from halftime because they kicked off. So
yeah, I mean, Mizzou's definitely not just going to go away. They're out there to play. Their defense is very good. I mean, one thing I really noticed early, especially in the first quarter, was they were absolutely committing to shutting down the run, and every yard we got rushing was hard fought. I mean, it didn't matter what back was in there. I think the biggest run was from Ty Simpson when he broke off for 12 or 15 yards or whatever it was, and that was just. Oh man, but we obviously are picking them apart in the back end. Ty Simpson's doing a good job of his reads. I think he's doing a good job of moving around, but I mean, he's been sacked several times too. So I mean, he's got people in his face a lot.
I still think, even that being said, for the pressure that they have been able to get on him, man, he's thrown some strikes. That touchdown to Horton in the end zone.
Oh, beauty!
Money. It was money.
Yeah, that was a beauty. I really like the touchdown drive that they brought back to answer their Mizzou's first drive. They came out there. We got, to be fair, Mizzou shot themselves in the foot 2 times on that drive, and it just, is what it is. Because I think the first 5 or 6 plays, the only positive yards were the penalty yards from Mizzou. So I mean, that kind of jump started everything, but. That shorty catch by Kevin Riley, the redshirt freshman, that was nice. He got the ball, he put his head down, and he said, "I'm going to score this touchdown." And he got in there. I like that. It looked real good. It was a very good answer as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, agreed with that 100%. I do want to not gloss over the early penalties. That was one of the instances where I almost was getting a bad taste in my mouth for the game. It looked like we were about to have one of those games where, whether you say it's scripted or not, it looks like it's about to be called a certain way, and it's just not fun to watch those when it's already like that early. But that quickly seemed to have been just a fluke, or maybe just some boys doing penalties. Like that first that first offsides penalty, I actually think Proctor was Okay. I won't say anything else. We'll just keep moving along then.
That one, I will say this: that one didn't bother me as bad, but the penalty that really saved Alabama in that first drive, I'll just be honest, the taunting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have just not thrown that, probably, in my personal opinion. But
well, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't the guy that made the tackle. It was number 9 that came in over after. And that's, they are very much trying to cut that crap out of the game. They want sportsmanship. They want it clean cut. And you can win and you can celebrate over there, but you're not going to stand over somebody and shout in their face. That's just not, we're not going to do that.
Especially if you're not the one who did it,
Right.
Yeah. That's the classic little dog barking beside the big dog. Yeah, I'm with him.
Now, I will bring this up, talking about penalties. That hit that the receiver took for Alabama, that was an instant. Like, he was gone, instantly when he got hit. I've never seen, like, a personal foul on the head-to-head where they don't even replay the hit. They just knew that, that guy's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy that hit him immediately started running off the field. He's like, "Yep, I'm done for the day." That's that.
Yeah.
But Meadows, man.
Okay.
It's upsetting because he made a phenomenal catch. I mean, that was going to be a very good catch. He went up, grabbed it all hands, and until he got smacked, he had that ball. But you can tell. I mean, anybody that's played the game or seen any concussions, anything like that, he absolutely has a concussion. He was out cold, face down, instantly. As soon as he got that head rock, it was over. Yeah, so I'm just thankful that he was able to stand up and walk off the field with his own 2 feet and not have some kind of neck injury, because that's the next part of that can be, just there's all kinds of bad to that. We're obviously not going to have him. He's going to be in the concussion protocol, and I just hope they don't, that doesn't turn into worse things, because concussions are nothing to play with.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's why we do have all of these extra safety rules and things getting progressively further in that direction, is of course to prevent that. Now I want to shift gears to a game that's not quite yet into the halftime part yet, and that would be the Ohio State-Illinois game. Now, the score absolutely reflects what the game is displaying right now. But I will say we are absolutely seeing the team that Illinois is. Mm-hmm. And Ohio State, for the first time, it does not look like they're just beating up on somebody in a gross mismatch. You actually see them really looking like a professional team out there. I will say the big guys, they are all moving exactly how they need to move. It looks like a very well-disciplined unit right there. And there's a few teams that I would say I am definitely envious of, and I wish that O-line would swap with one or two SEC teams, and that would definitely be a game changer, we'll say. But on top of that, not only Jeremiah Smith, both of their receivers are really outshining everything. They look crisp. They look like NFL pursuit. And when I say that, I don't just mean they're doing everything they need to do. They're running their routes. I'm talking down to the little things, like I don't need to have 1 foot in bounds. I'm going to go ahead and have 2 toes in bounds and look like I'm fucking Jerry Rice out there, outstretched, with my toes just barely titching along the little blades of grass. I mean, you're seeing that from both of them in the game, and it looks like a very good team. And up until this point, I have had my doubts about Ohio State. So this next week coming forward, barring some crazy shenanigans happening in this game, I would say Ohio State might creep up in my own personal rankings. That being said, Illinois did just put some points on the board. We'll see if maybe they can get some momentum. Maybe that's what they needed to get that going. Hopefully the game does get a little bit more interesting, but already I've seen what I need to see from Ohio State to be excited for future matchups instead of thinking they might be overrated. I think they are absolutely a team to tangle with, and anything that comes forward as a good game, like good game churched up, is absolutely going to be that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and to build on your point about the receivers, obviously I've been heavy watching the Bama game and going over and watching series when I can on the other. Excuse me. It has been something to see those 2 receivers picking up blocks as well, because that is absolutely a very big part of that position. Is when it's not your turn, you got to make sure you're blocking for the guy behind you. So seeing those guys lay into some corners and stuff like that and help their, just do everything. Don't just do part of it because you're the fancy receiver and you're going to go to the NFL and all that. They're sticking their nose in there and they're doing their job. So I like to see that. On the other side of that, though, the times I've flipped over and Illinois has been running their offense, it's sloppy, man. And I don't know if that's more Ohio State is just playing really good defense, or that quarterback is just not, he just ain't got it, man. Because I've seen him it doesn't look crisp, it doesn't look good. The pick, the deflection, the first one, that's not really your fault. It kind of is what it is. But he's missed receivers that are wide open. He's missed reads, and I'm not seeing anything there that's making me think, oh man, they're going to do some adjustments and come back in this halftime and put some more points. I think Ohio State is going to make some more adjustments and it's going to look worse. So that's just and they've been beating themselves up. I mean, they had to punt and the punter literally kneeled and gave them the ball back. It's like, here, just have it. Here you go. We don't want this. It's just, if you want to win games, you've got to do everything right, and you can't beat yourself, especially when you're the underdog. And when you're the underdog, you got to just go out there and show out. And these guys are just shooting themselves in the foot. From what I've seen going back and forth, I don't know. You've been watching that game a lot more heavy than I. What do you think?
I think it just all around is poor execution, and I would not necessarily put the majority of it on Altmaier, although it's interesting. They were trying to church him up in the pregame show, make it look like he was a possible sleeper Heisman candidate, and you're right. This game has absolutely not displayed any of those qualities, and I would say, if anything, it's sealed the deal that you're not a bubble quarterback. You do not belong in this race at all. You're no longer going to be mentioned. Now, that being said, a lot of game left. We've seen much crazier things happen. This year already has been crazy. They could absolutely turn that around. One game where we do also have potential for some craziness to occur would be that Georgia-Auburn game, as well as the Oklahoma-Texas game. So the Georgia-Auburn game hits a little bit closer to home with us. The Oklahoma-Texas game probably has a little bit broader range in terms of national attention, just because of the teams that are involved in each one. And then, of course, the Manning name bringing a certain extra thing to the conversation. And
still a smidge.
So when we were looking at the line, they still had Texas ahead. And it was, I think, 2.5 points. Then it moved down to 1.5 point line. That is with Mateer being considered playing. Now, and this is from we'll say an inside source on that. So the line actually shifts to a 5.5 point line if Mateer were to be unable to play. That's how heavily favorited Texas is in this, which I know that it is a home game, and SEC home games in particular can be quite loud, and that's the big X factor there. But we need to consider that they've got the number 5 defense in the nation, number 4 just for pressures. Texas has kind of struggled with the rush game. Last year, they lost their best rusher to the NFL. They also lost both of their best receivers and 3 offensive linemen. So maybe a lot of the negative attention towards the performance of Arch should just take that into consideration. That being said, take that into consideration when you're looking at the spread on this. If you're still wanting to gamble on something, this might be the game to put your money on if you feel a certain way there. Let's go back to Oklahoma right now. What a standout program they have been so far this year. Obviously, there's been the Mateer question going in, but even without Mateer, they are still a very, very solid program. And I would struggle to think that they're not going to win. Are y'all seeing something different, or am I crazy? Or?
Go ahead, Risa. Let me hear what you're thinking.
So with this particular game, I know Arch Manning has struggled a lot for Texas, but what they've also really struggled with is their offensive line. And like you said,
I said, they lost 3 to the NFL last year.
And like you were saying about Oklahoma's defense being so good, that's why I like Oklahoma in this matchup, because I think if you just can get back there and pressure him some more, and he's already been feeling the heat from not playing as well as he's wanted to, I think it's going to make a big difference in that.
Yeah, I'm shaky on it because everybody in the country, well, I won't say everybody, but a heavy portion of the people that are doing any kind of commentating or watching football are saying that Oklahoma's defense is the best or one of the best in the country. And I'm inclined to agree with that. I mean, I've seen them get gashed here and there, but they're solid on every
number 5 rush
level
defense.
of the ball. Yeah, it's just they're very good. My only issue here is this is the national championship for Texas as far as anybody's concerned, and it should be for Oklahoma too. That's the way they should be thinking about it. This is your rivalry game. This is the one everybody's going to be watching, and we're going to figure out, can Oklahoma keep winning without Mateer if he doesn't play? We'll see. And is he going to do anything this year? Because this is the game that he is. I mean, you got to do something in this one. This is the big game. So I don't know. We'll see if Oklahoma's defense is deserving of the big numbers. I personally think they are. I don't think Texas is the team that is going to gash them. I said that in our pregame show. I don't see it, man. So, and barring something crazy like you guys just said, I'm leaning towards Oklahoma on this deal. I feel like they're a good football team, even with their number 2 quarterback. And that defense can take you places. You know, lots of people say defense wins championships, and there's something to that. Yeah, you know.
I mean, not to mention too, if Texas loses this game, they're 0-2 in the SEC play. You're starting to dig a hole there. I mean, at some point you got to do something different. Especially if you lose this game in a bad way, you know.
Yeah, you become Florida 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. You really are right.
We also will go ahead and shift to the Georgia-Auburn game. See a very good SEC matchup once again. Rivalry game, classic, back and forth. A lot of history with both programs, a lot of history with this game in particular. And I'd say my whole life, it has pretty much always been a very good game, regardless of which team is ranked what. It's the same as an Iron Bowl type. Like I said, this is a rivalry game. That being said, thoughts, opinions, where we think we're going with this?
I like the Georgia Bulldogs in this matchup myself. Until they can prove it to me that they can come out on top of one of these close games, I just can't. I can't go with them in this matchup.
Yeah, I was watching the pregame hypes for this game and the old footage of the really good games they had, and the last one I watched that popped up was the Cam Newton when they had this game, and Auburn just, oh God, it was fun to watch Cam Newton in that Heisman run. He was just head and shoulders above everybody else on the field. He was obviously the best talent out there. It was fun to watch. I don't see any of those players in this game. I'm hoping this is a good game. I honestly think it's going to be a good game. But that is going to 100% depend, like I said in the pregame, on the quarterback play here. If Gunner can come out and do the flashes of things we've seen him do the entire game, this is going to be, it's going to be not fun. But there's the defensive struggle here too. I don't know for sure that Georgia's that elite defense. I've seen them picked apart here and there. So they're one of the ones that are kind of in that top 10. Can they be? Are they? They obviously, pivot, like we said earlier, very well. But, what's the baseline? So I'm obviously going for the Bulldogs. I kind of like another team in Alabama. But I think it's going to be a good game. I do. I don't see this being one of those low-scoring games. I think you're going to see some slinging of the ball, maybe not so many screens from Gunner Stockton, and a little more deep ball threat. So we'll see.
I'm with it. Now we've got the big game tonight. I would say for most standards, probably going to be that Indiana-Oregon. We're going to see a lot there, especially. That maybe takes a little bit more away from Indiana. I know them from a variety of sources in regards to them. Obviously, I think this channel pretty much wholeheartedly has been behind Indiana since the beginning.
Yeah,
I am not discounting the Ducks, though. I think that is absolutely a solid program. I think this game is absolutely going to be a numbers game, and we are going to see how high we can count. We're going to run out of fingers pretty quickly.
Both quarterbacks really playing good right now.
That's what I'm saying. I think both teams are sharp. This
so.
is going to be a great team. A great matchup here.
I'm excited about this one for sure. I'm a little more excited about this game than I was the Bama game, just because I think this is going to be your shootout. You've got two possible Heisman candidate quarterbacks who need to have a show-out game against a bit. Everybody has been running down Indiana in every pregame show I've watched today. I start early in the morning. I watch a lot of different content from different platforms. Everybody's going, oh, well, Indiana still doesn't have their signature win. Indiana still hasn't this. It's all Oregon. Everybody is already discounting except Pat McAfee, the old Hoosiers. So I want to see the Hoosiers come out here prove that they deserve to be one of the bigger teams talked about. They are absolutely going to be in the playoff. I hope that at the end of this game, that's what we're talking about. And then there's going to be some question marks with the old Ducks after that. So I'm hoping that's what happens. If I was betting on it, I'm still betting on Indiana because I don't think we've seen the Ducks have a real true blue punched in the mouth game yet. I mean, they played Penn State, but then, like I said, Penn State got embarrassed in California, like absolutely embarrassed. From what I understand, if I was the management over in Penn State, I would be on the phone seeing who's available, who wants to come up here to Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
they already reached out. They're looking at Georgia Tech's coach bringing him up there, which then if that rumor's going around, you're a Georgia Tech player, you're a junior, you're a sophomore, maybe that starts to affect your play style a little bit. So Georgia Tech's another team that's kind of one of those, what are they teams? We'll see what they do. And that's definitely goes in the negative columns, I would say, for the team as a whole when we're assessing them.
And that's unfortunate because I think they're having just a fantastic season. They're playing good football. They've won some close games. And those close games, from my personal opinion that I've watched, they won those games because of the coaching, the calls that were, the plays that were called, and those players executing what they were told to do. So, and there's been some close ones. But if I'm that coach, yes, Penn State's the big name, but you could probably build something really good in Georgia there for a little while. If you could get a little more money into the program, a little more recruiting, go beat Georgia, you could do something there. But back to the Indiana-Oregon game here. I've never been on the Oregon hype train. I've enjoyed watching them play good football. They've always got good recruiting. They've always got the money to get that kind of attention. But this one's going to be the coaching battle for me. Absolutely the coaching battle. Is old Kirk going to pull some stuff out of his sleeve there? Plays you haven't seen this year. They're going to come out and try to creep up the score quick so that Oregon's playing from behind. I think that would be a good strategy to win this game, because if Oregon gets ahead, they're going to be able to do whatever they want to. You know what I'm saying? They are going to be able to, whatever scheme they cooked up, if they're already ahead, they are going to implement that to the tenfold. And if that starts to happen, they can build a gap real quick. So I'm hoping Indiana comes out and scores some points quick, gets up, and does not let this turn into a beatdown either way.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I really do think it's going to be back and forth. Maybe that's me anticipating and hoping more than anticipating with that kind of pragmatic lens, but I'm really hoping that it's just back and forth all day. I honestly think realistically, we're probably going to see a back and forth, and then late third quarter, one team overcome, or if Indiana can get an early foothold, I think they carry it all the way through.
Yep, that's what my gut's telling me too. My gut and my heart are usually in the right place. So if that happens, I think we're going to see Indiana come out victorious. But they gotta be in the lead first, and Oregon needs to be chasing them. You know what I mean? Because they need to affect Oregon's game plan to win this game, and I truly believe that's true.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. Now,
Rista, you got any last thoughts?
No, I think I'm still with Oregon in that matchup right now, but I think both of y'all are correct. I think it'll be a very back and forth game.
Right on. Well, it looks like we're back into live gameplay with the Bama here, so we might want to put a button on this thing.
All right. Well, you folks, thank you for tuning in, and we will keep it going throughout the game, throughout the day, my bad. And like I said, biggest game tonight for me is probably going to be that Indiana-Oregon game.
Absolutely.
Coming up.
Yep.
I mean, that's not even a late night game. I think that
Right.
should be the primetime game. But that'll be our next one. Then after that, we'll be into primetime. So primetime preview during the next one.
See you boys at halftime.
Coming out, Reese, Brian.
Oh, yes.
See you soon, folks. Roll Tide.